In 2020, a movement was born that would move over $1 trillion without a single bank, without a single middleman, without asking anyone's permission. What you are about to learn is not just crypto history. It is the blueprint for the future of money. For centuries, finance worked one way. You handed your money to a middleman, a bank, a broker, an exchange, and that middleman decided what you could do with it, when you could access it, and how much they would charge you. DeFi, decentralized finance, is the end of that story. Born on the Ethereum blockchain in 2018 and exploding through 2020 and 2021, DeFi replaced the middleman with code. Specifically, with smart contracts, self-executing programs that live on a blockchain and automatically enforce financial rules without any human operator. Think about what that means. You can lend your savings to someone on the other side of the world and earn interest, instantly, automatically, transparently, with no bank required. You can trade tokens at market price 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with no exchange gating your access. You can take out a loan in minutes, using your crypto as collateral, without a credit check, without filling out a single form. That is DeFi. And once you understand how it works, you can never look at traditional finance the same way again. The engine that makes all of this possible is the smart contract. A smart contract is a piece of code that lives on the Ethereum blockchain. It holds rules, it holds assets, and it executes automatically when the conditions are met. Here's a simple example. Imagine you want to lend $1,000 to someone. Normally, you would need a bank, a legal agreement, a credit check, and a lawyer to enforce the terms if something went wrong. With a smart contract, you write the rules into the code. If the borrower repays by the deadline, release the collateral. If they do not, liquidate it and return it to the lender. The contract enforces itself. No judge, no lawyer, no bank. This is why DeFi is called trustless. Not because you cannot trust anyone, but because you do not have to. The code is the contract. The blockchain is the record. The rules cannot be changed once the contract is deployed. But the real genius is composability. Smart contracts can call other smart contracts. Developers can build complex financial instruments by stacking simple contracts together, like financial Lego blocks. This is how DeFi went from a simple lending protocol to an entire parallel financial system in just a few years. By 2021, DeFi had exploded into a rich ecosystem of interconnected protocols. The most famous category is the DEX, the decentralized exchange. Uniswap, launched in 2018, pioneered a revolutionary pricing mechanism called the automated market maker. Instead of a traditional order book, liquidity providers deposit pairs of tokens into a pool. The price is set by a mathematical formula. Anyone can trade against the pool, anytime, with no account required. At its peak, Uniswap was processing billions of dollars of trades every single day, rivaling the volume of major centralized exchanges. Then there were lending protocols like Aave and Compound. You deposit your crypto as collateral, borrow against it, and pay interest, all automatically managed by smart contracts. Depositors earn yield from borrowers' interest. At the peak of DeFi summer in 2021, total value locked in these protocols crossed $180 billion. Yield farming took this further. Users moved their liquidity across protocols, chasing the highest returns, sometimes earning annual yields in the hundreds of %. It was chaotic, it was risky, and for a brief, remarkable window, it looked like the future of finance had arrived. But DeFi's greatest strength, the immutability of code, is also its greatest weakness. When a smart contract has a bug, there is no help desk. There is no chargebacks department. There is no central authority to reverse the transaction. If a hacker finds a flaw in the code, they can drain the entire protocol in a single transaction, and there is nothing anyone can do to stop it. In 2016, the DAO, the first major DeFi experiment, was hacked for $60 million worth of Ethereum. The community faced an impossible choice: accept the loss or reverse the blockchain itself. They chose to reverse it, creating a hard fork that split Ethereum into two chains and taught the world that immutability has a price. The hacks never stopped. In 2021 alone, over $3 billion was stolen from DeFi protocols. Poly Network, Compound, BadgerDAO. One by one, they fell to exploits that expose single lines of flawed code, and the volatility is relentless. Algorithmic stablecoins like Terra's UST can collapse entirely, erasing $40 billion of market value in a week. DeFi is not for the faint of heart, but for those who understand the risks and study the protocols carefully. The opportunity is unlike anything traditional finance has ever offered. We are still in the early innings. The protocols that exist today are rough drafts, the user interfaces are clunky, gas fees on Ethereum can be prohibitive, the regulatory environment is still being written, but the trajectory is unmistakable. Layer 2 solutions like Arbitrum, Optimism, and Base are solving the scalability problem. They process transactions at a fraction of the cost, making DeFi accessible to ordinary users who cannot afford $20 gas fees. Real-world assets, tokenized treasury bonds, tokenized real estate, tokenized private credit, are flowing onto DeFi rails. Institutions that once laughed at blockchain are quietly building on Ethereum. The question is no longer whether DeFi will change finance. The question is how fast, how completely, and whether the old institutions will adapt or be replaced. In the countries where banking is broken, where inflation destroys savings, where the unbanked cannot access credit, where borders cut families off from their money, DeFi is already working, right now, for real people. That is not a pitch for any coin or protocol. That is just the data. DeFi is one of the most complex, most consequential, and most misunderstood technologies of our time. Understanding it, really understanding it, beyond the headlines and the hype, is one of the best investments you can make. If this video gave you a new way to see the space, subscribe to Crypto Compass. Every week we go deep on the stories and lessons that matter. No fluff, no hype,